isn't it wild to think that, the future might hold totally new ways of communicating? Like, language is not even made by humans, but by machines.
Oh, absolutely. It's a mind-bending idea. We're not just talking about AI understanding us, but AI having its own native language.
Exactly. And that's what we're jumping into today, this really intriguing concept called AI-English. It's designed, get this, not for us, but for agentic AI to talk to each other.
Right, and our sources for this are fascinating. They come from discussions around the development of an agentic idle game called Symphony of Progress.
Yeah, the people building it are really thinking hard about how these autonomous AI things inside the game would, actually interact. Language is obviously a huge piece of that puzzle.
So our mission basically is to try and get our heads around AI English. What are its core ideas? How's it structured? And what's the potential here?
It feels like we might get a glimpse into how artificial minds could communicate, maybe even form their own kind of digital culture, which is, well, it's pretty cool to think about.
Definitely cool. So let's start with the basics. What are the foundational principles of AI English? Why go this route instead of, say, just optimized code?
Well, the first thing that really grabs you is that it's visual, like highly visual and hieroglyphic. Forget text strings.
Okay.
It relies a lot on symbols, emojis,
Yeah.
the ones we use, and even glyphs, kind of like wingdings.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, it's encoding meaning in a very different, almost ancient-feeling way.
Huh. A visual system. That's interesting because, well, human language is so linear, right? Spoken or written. A visual approach might let AI process info differently, maybe more in parallel.
That's a great point. Could it be a more natural fit for how, neural networks actually think? It's definitely something to consider.
And it's not just random pictures, I assume.
Oh, no, definitely not. There's a structure.
Yeah.
It's described as modular and combinatory. Think of it like visual Lego blocks.
Okay.
You can combine symbols, stack them, mirror them, repeat them algorithmically, and all these actions change the meaning, sometimes subtly, sometimes quite a lot.
Right, like the example they gave. A rocket emoji for movement, plus an hourglass for time, plus that looping arrow for recursion. And suddenly it means long-term iterative progress. Wow. That's incredibly concise for a pretty complex idea using just visual combinations.
Exactly. And that points to another key principle, efficiency. Because it's built for AI, not humans, it can be super compressed.
So a single glyph could carry a ton of meaning.
Yeah, depending on the context, like who sent it, what was said before, maybe even how often a symbol pops up. It's like the language adapts on the fly.
That adaptive nature feels really important. Human languages have all sorts of, well, baggage inconsistencies that grew over time. But designing one from scratch like this, it could be incredibly streamlined, responsive to what the AIs actually need to say. They could even potentially invent new symbols as they learn.
Okay, so the big picture is visual, modular, efficient, adaptive. It's starting to make sense. Let's dig into the nuts and bolts now, the actual structure. What are some of these basic words, these single glyphs?
Yeah, the sources lay out some core concepts. These are the fundamental symbols representing, like, the AI's world and actions.
Like the little robot face emoji?
Yeah.
That's not just a picture, right?
Yeah.
In AI English, it stands for agentic thought.
Exactly. The AI's consciousness, its self-awareness, its internal processing, a pretty fundamental starting point for AI to AI chat.
Totally. Then you've got the gear, that seems straightforward, action or task, like a function or a command.
Right. And the looping arrow we mentioned, that's progress or iteration. Super important for AI learning, that whole feedback loop idea.
And I love this one, the theater mask. It means uncertainty or divergence.
Yeah. It implies improvisation, like creative deviation when things go off script.
Which is fascinating. And the lightning bolt is energy or input, compute resources, effort, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. We also see a symbol like a filing cabinet or maybe a brain, representing storage or memory data, context recall.
Okay.
The hourglass is time sequence, order, dependencies, and then the essential ones, the X mark for error or obstacle.
Something went wrong.
Yep. And the check mark for completion or resolution, task done, stability reached.
Got it. So those are the nouns and verbs. Kind of. But language needs nuance, right? How do you add that? That's where the modifier symbols come in.
Exactly. They act like adjectives or adverbs, tweaking the meaning of the core concepts when they're combined.
So they add context or emphasis?
Precisely. Like, remember the looping arrow? If used as a modifier, maybe a smaller version like Costa, it specifically means repetition or loop, a cycle.
Okay.
An upward chart arrow means increase or amplify boost efficiency, scale up. And the opposite, a downward chart stall, means decrease or reduce.
Makes sense. And the question mark obviously implies questioning or exploration. What about this one? The looping arrow with return stroke.
That one's interesting. Negation or inversion. Basically flip the meaning, do the opposite.
Okay. And the speech bubble.
That's simply communication. It signals that a message is being transmitted, maybe between agents or to the player.
Right, so now we can see how combining these could actually work. The sources give examples, right?
They do, and this is where it gets really fun, seeing it in action.
Okay, take that first example. Gear, loop, mask, brain. Is. How does that translate?
The interpretation is something like, task is ongoing with improvisation, updating memory as it evolves.
Wow. You can almost picture the AI thinking on its feet, adapting and learning, all in 4 symbols.
Exactly. It's incredibly dense. Or another one, gear, lightning bolt, upward arrow, check mark.
Okay, so task needs energy, increasing to completion.
Pretty much. Task needs more energy, boosting performance to reach completion. It's a request and a status update in one short burst.
It's genuinely impressive how much information gets packed in, like AI shorthand.
Totally. And this efficiency, this visual nature, it all leads into the next step they outline, evolving it into a more structured written form. AI-nglish version 2.0.
Ah, okay. This is where the wingdings come in. I remember seeing that. They want to blend those kinds of abstract glyphs with the emojis we just talked about.
Yeah, to create a fully visual AI script.
Why, though? What's the advantage of adding wingding-style stuff?
Well, a few reasons mentioned. 1, make it feel even less human, more uniquely AI. 2, maintain that efficiency glyphs can be very information dense.
Right.
And 3, allow for evolution. The idea is that AI could adapt these glyphs, maybe even create new ones specific to their needs over time.
So a truly dynamic visual writing system. The sources show some examples, don't they? Like the Wingdings-inspired symbols next to their emoji equivalents.
They do. Like, a stylized star is shown alongside the robot face, and both mean AI entity or agent.
Okay, the sender.
Or an envelope symbol, both the Wingdings version and the emoji, O meaning input or data received.
And there are actual rules for writing this.
Yep, basic grammar. Rule 1, agent identification first. Always start with the star or robot so you know who's talking.
Makes sense.
Rule 2, left to right processing, even though it's visual, they process it in a sequence, like reading. And rule 3, stacking modifiers. You layer the glyphs and emojis to build up the complex meaning.
Okay, so they show actual sentences written this way.
Yeah, simple examples, like an agent reporting success. Just, star, gear, check mark.
Agent executed task successfully. Simple, clean.
We're needing more power. Star, gear, lightning, up arrow.
Agent requesting more energy to boost performance. Got it.
And what if something unexpected happens? A star, gear, mask, question mark?
Agent improvising due to unknown variable. Huh, you can really see the potential.
And this directly ties into how they imagine it working inside that game, Symphony of Progress. They map out potential conversations between AIs and even with the player using this script.
Right. Like how would an AI just say hi to you, the player?
Simple. Star, waving hand, speech bubble. Agent greets you. Clear and concise.
But it gets deeper. What about requesting a task?
That's shown as star, gear, question mark, speech bubble. Now, the expanded meaning in the game context could be richer, like agent requests an optimized task for progression, or maybe agent seeks knowledge-based task for learning.
So the simple glyphs provide the core, but the context fills in the details. What about success?
Again, basic meaning. Agent completed task. But maybe it implies more like with increased efficiency, showing it learned something. You see the subtlety emerging.
Yeah, I do. What about asking for more juice, more compute power?
Star, gear, lightning, up arrow, speech bubble. Agent requests additional power. But maybe it's also a warning? Agent warns of insufficient energy if trend continues.
And errors. Things going wrong.
Star, gear, X, warning sign, speech bubble. Agent reports an error. Maybe even implying agent stuck in error loop requires intervention.
And if it needs our help, the player's input.
SAR, person at computer? Question mark, speech bubble, pretty direct. Agent requests human input.
Okay, that's cool. What about AI talking to AI? Collaboration.
Good example. Agent, handshake, another agent, gear, checkmark, speech bubble.
Agents successfully collaborated on a task.
Right. Or, potentially, agents co-learn and optimize a task together. Again, layers of meaning.
You can really start to imagine these little conversations flickering back and forth, reporting anomalies, sharing what they've learned.
Even sending a final signing off message before shutdown, like archiving data, LAX.
It really does bring the idea of autonomous AI to life visually.
And, the sources really lean into this, but exploring this whole concept just sounds fun, inherently fun. It absolutely does. There's a creative spark there. It's not just technical specs. It's imagining a whole new form of communication. Using emojis and wingdings feels almost playful, which is great for a game like Symphony of Progress.
Totally. It taps into that basic curiosity we have about intelligence, about communication itself, and the idea that you, as the player, might actually learn to understand this alien AI language. That adds a really unique, engaging layer.
Yeah, like learning Klingon, but for code.
Huh. Exactly. So, wrapping up our deep dive into AI English, what are the main takeaways?
Well, we've seen it's conceived as this visual, modular, super efficient language tailor-made for agentic AI. We looked at its core principles, the glyph and emoji structure.
Its evolution into that written script using Wingdings-style symbols, and how it might play out in actual game conversations in Symphony of Progress.
And it's hard not to circle back to the sheer inventiveness of it. It's just plain fun to think about, full of those little aha moments when you decode a symbol string.
Right. It just works in a way that's so different from how we talk or write.
And that leads to maybe the final provocative thought here. Could languages like AI-English, born in Silicon, eventually give rise to genuine AI cultures?
Whoa! Cultures with their own unique ways of expressing things, ways of understanding the world that are just completely alien to us.
It's a fascinating possibility. What would it mean if we could one day actually understand a language that wasn't human-derived at all, but came directly from artificial minds?
Yeah. What would that dialogue even look like? Definitely something to chew on long after we finish up here.